Step number 2 would be to make America fit again. This really is the crux. I'll tell you 2 stories. First, let me finish the food story, the food dyes. I was in 8th grade when M&M's decided to introduce red food dye, I believe number 5, into their M&M's, and suddenly the big deal was, "We have a red M&M," and that was the big marketing thing, like, "Oh, there's a red M&M," and everybody was so excited. Well, I went to a party, and I decided to sit down and eat every red M&M in the bowl, giant bowl. It was a Halloween party, so it's, appropriate for this time of year. Giant bowl of M&Ms. I picked out all the red ones and ate them. What happened from there? Came home from the party, went to bed, woke up in the morning, my entire front room was blockaded. My mom had moved all the furniture up against the door. Everything was locked, triple locked, furniture everywhere blocking all the doors. I asked what happened. Turns out I got up, stepped over my best friend who was laying on the floor because she spent the night. She was sleeping in the trundle bed, stepped over her, walked out the front door in my t-shirt and underwear. That was all I had on. Walked to the neighbor's house, knocked on the door, had a conversation with my neighbor. He was so scared that something was wrong that he went to, go get something to protect us if there was, he thought something terrible. I had my pillow in my hands and I was completely asleep, and I'm having a conversation with him at the front door. He walks me home, gets me back in the house, tells me to lock the door, hears it click, and he goes home. And I believed he called my parents at that point and told them what happened. Or maybe he walked me back and talked to them. I can't remember. I don't know. I was asleep. Point is that's what the red dye number 5 did to me. I had a complete sleepwalking episode. Now, I had been a bedwetter. So I had had a long history of food allergies. That's a food allergy symptom predominantly. I'd been a bedwetter. I'd had night terrors. I had some sleepwalking. I ate a lot of processed foods. I really loved junk food. I loved processed foods. And, the processed foods in the 80s were not the processed foods we have today. I think the chemicals in there were a lot less, but I still had issues. You know what happened after that? I never ate red dye number 5 again. It didn't take anything else. That was terrifying to me. And I could have walked all the way down the street. I could have walked somewhere that wasn't so friendly. So that said, I just never ate food dye again. I mean, that was it. I just didn't eat food dye again. I also gave up soda that day. I quit drinking soda. I was like, no more soda for me. I didn't know if it was the soda I'd had because I knew that I liked orange soda, and orange soda has the orange food colorants. I remember in high school getting in fights with friends because I was like, why are you drinking Mountain Dew? It's neon. Like, why would you put that in your body? So I'm sharing this with you. I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box. I know some of you guys think I'm really smart. I just pay attention. I saw Theo Vaughn. He was interviewed, and I think it was Tucker Carlson asked him, like, how'd you know what was going on throughout the last 4 years? And he was like, I'm just a human and I pay attention. And I'm like, yeah, you just pay attention to what's going on, right? Like, you just look at all the parts moving and you make a decision. So I gave up soda. I gave up artificial colorants that day. Not a big deal. If we teach kids what it's doing to them, there's a lot of kids struggling and they get called bad kids, or they're disruptive kids, or they're kids really causing problems. And then they get put on ADD or ADHD medications. And really it's because they live off of junk food and processed foods. Whenever we have some kind of tragedy happen and a young person's involved and acts out in a violent way, I always ponder, like, what was this kid's diet like? Was his brain on fire? Kids don't want to act like this. Kids don't want to always be the troublemaker and be in trouble. I know that we could analyze a lot of things from a emotional, behavioral point of view, psychological point of view. I know that's how things are usually addressed in young children, but I'm always over here like, what are they eating? Are they living off like convenience store food? Is their mom around paying any attention to what's going in their mouth? Because most kids live off garbage. I did. I grew up eating garbage and I paid dearly for it as I got older. So we got to start by educating these kids.